The state's public schools aren't alone in their concerns about funding. Governor Jerry Brown has proposed that local redevelopment agencies be eliminated and their funds moved to counties, cities, and schools. These agencies are mandated to devote 20% of their funding to develop affordable housing. Some say that if the redevelopment agencies go, affordable housing will as well. With me to explain what's at stake is Susan Tinsky. She's executive director of the San Diego Housing Federation. Thanks, Susan, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
What is the role of redevelopment agencies in regard to affordable housing development?
Redevelopment agencies provide the second largest source of funding, second to HUD, the federal government, for affordable housing. So it's absolutely integral to the construction of affordable housing in the region.
Do they actually oversee the development of affordable housing?
Generally, they work with affordable housing providers, nonprofits, and other developers of affordable homes in order to provide affordable housing in the market.
What is it that equips them to take on this role?
It actually is a mandate through state law, and it actually requires both the obligation to provide affordable housing as well as resources to do so.
And how successful have they been?
In the state of California, they've produced almost 100,000 units since in the last 2 decades, and so they've been extremely successful, again, in providing more housing than any other source of funding in the state.
What about in San Diego County? How successful have they been here in providing affordable housing?
Certainly, with the market as it is, we've seen affordable housing produced that wouldn't otherwise have been produced. We're still gathering numbers specifically about what has actually been produced in the market, but without redevelopment, we can assure you that it would not have occurred.
How does the number of affordable housing units affect the housing market as a whole?
Well, some would say that, we've had a decline in the market and would say that we really don't need affordable housing in the market anymore. But really, we're in a deficit of 100,000 units in the region. And really, the needs are greater than they ever have been. With unemployment, our poverty rate in the region is growing. And really, we're seeing forecasts, our employment forecasts, that are projecting that one of the highest producers of new employment will be in the hospitality sector, where most of the employees actually have lower wages. And so the demand is very, very great.
There's been some criticism, however, that that 20% mandated goes to administration and not actually to housing.
We would not argue that in some cases there have been abuses. Generally in San Diego, where we have 17 different agencies, we believe that they have really performed well in producing affordable housing in the region.
So there are developers that are mandated to provide affordable housing, and what they do is they claim hardship. And instead of providing the housing, they pay fees, in lieu fees. If those developers don't provide affordable housing, are we getting all that we really need?
Well, actually, the mandate is actually on the redevelopment agency itself, and that's where the requirement for 20% occurs. The developers really come in, and the obligation is not directly on them until they come and ask for resources from the agency. And at that point, the agency is willing to provide some resources to support the construction of affordable housing. Will actually, through a contractual arrangement, will require the affordable housing be built.
In short, if indeed redevelopment agencies are eliminated, is there another way that affordable housing can be funded with local public monies?
Actually, we are really in need of additional resources right now. Our primary resources have been coming from the state. We have a very small housing trust fund in the city of San Diego. None of the other cities have a local source, and so we're really highly dependent on state resources, which are drying up right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Susan Tinsky.
Thank you.